Let's talk a little bit about tourism then. It's a very interesting industry, I must say. And the industry employs 1 in every 10 people worldwide. For every 10 people you count in the world, 1 of them works in the tourism industry. So that tells you how important the tourism and hospitality industry is. And here in Ghana, tourism is the 4th largest foreign exchange earner. Here in Ghana, tourism is the 4th largest foreign exchange earner. Yeah, you writing it down? We have gold, of course, a very, very important resource. As you all know, we once used to be called the Gold Coast. So gold is a very valuable resource, and it still is, and it makes this country a lot of money. A lot of money. Yeah. And of late, you all know Ghana has also discovered oil, another black gold. That is also very, 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 very important. Yeah, so we have the gold, we have the oil, and then all the other things before tourism, the remittances. All our families abroad, yeah? They keep sending us dollars and pounds. We call it remittances. That is now the 3rd largest foreign exchange earner for the country. Remittances. Then tourism comes 4th after that. So those are the big areas of foreign exchange as we speak in Ghana. For the employment issues, a lot more women work in tourism than men. I've already said something like that. And it's fair to say the youth also work in tourism a lot. About 30% of people working in the tourism industry are young, below the age of, say, 40. Let's define tourism. Tourism is the traveling for recreational, leisure, and business purposes. The World Tourism Organization defines tourists as people traveling to and staying in places outside their usual environment for not more than 1 consecutive year, for leisure, business, and other purposes. So they must be away for more than 24 hours, and they must not stay longer than 1 year. So between 24 hours and 1 year to qualify as a tourist. The industry can be defined as a service industry. We offer services to our guests or our clients or our customers. Yeah, so the guests are the ones who enjoy the services. And we always say the guest has an experience. They experience the service and then they give us feedback, whether they were satisfied or dissatisfied with the service. Apart from accommodation, which is probably the biggest area in the hospitality industry, we have the food and beverage area, or restaurants. And then the 3rd area is the ancillary services, like the swimming pools and the casinos and the cinemas. All these activities come under the hospitality and tourism industry. So you can see that it is indeed a very, very big industry. I explained to you earlier that the term hospitality implies a guest who goes away from home is welcomed by a host. So if somebody comes to visit us here, we are the host. We are hosting the person. So we need to be kind and pleasant. And the term hospice is derived from a Latin word hospitare, which means to receive or to care for a guest. Right, so we won't waste any time. We've already said that the industry comprises of food and beverages, lodging, and a combination of these factors. Leisure. The condition of having one's time free from the demands of work and duty. So after you've been working for a while, you take 2 or 3 days off, you want to relax. Yeah, do nothing. Or certainly don't do what you do at work. Because after a while, doing the same thing again and again and again gets very, very, very boring. So it's good to relax, take some time off. Some people even turn off their mobile phones for 2 or 3 days so that they can have a peace of mind. Yeah, so that's what we call leisure. So you decide to do whatever you want to do with your time apart from work. Some people go to the gym, some people go for a walk. It's all part of the relaxation exercise. Then there's also recreation, which is a bit different from leisure. Refreshment by means of pastime. Like I just mentioned, exercising, going to the pub is also a form of recreation. These are all kinds of recreation. So it's important to divert your attention sometimes. Now let's talk about hotels. Hotels are a major part of the hospitality industry. Hotels. When a person is away from home, as we said, they need to lodge somewhere. And by now, you would know that we have different types of hotels. Guest houses, budget hotels, 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, and 5-star hotels. So you can see that there's quite a variety of hotels in Ghana and worldwide. There's not very many 5-star hotels in Ghana. We have 5-star hotels. Very recently, I think last year, the Marriott International Hotel arrived in Ghana, making the 5th 5-star hotel. And for those of you who don't know where it is located, it is just 5 minutes from the airport, just on the airport traffic lights. As you come out of the airport, it's on your left, a huge building. And in my estimation, I don't think there's any hotel in Ghana here that is closer to the airport than the Marriott. In fact, you can even walk and catch your flight. You don't even need to go by vehicle. It's because it's within the airport premises. And I think that was the idea. Usually in business, you would already have learned that the location where you place your business is of paramount importance. So the Marriott Hotel could not have had a better location. Then we have the Moving Pick, which is in Accra, near the ministries, or Makola. Also a very beautiful place. Then Labadi Beach is another one. That's also on the seaside, the seafront. For those of you who know Accra, near La Palm, we have the Labadi Beach. It's a smaller boutique hotel, very, very cute place, but very nicely decorated, very nicely done. Labadi Beach Hotels, right? And then the two others we have. Can anybody think of any other 5-star hotel? I've mentioned 3. Let me see your knowledge. The Kimpiski, yes, Kimpiski Hotel. That's also relatively new, also near the ministries. And the last one, Holiday Inn is a 4-star hotel. Another try. I don't want to do all the talking. I want you to also participate. Accra City is also a 4-star. It used to be called the Novotel. One more try. Fiesta Royal is also part of the 4-star outfits. Anybody? So we've got 4 so far, We've done the Marriott, Labadi Beach, Kimpiski. Sorry? No, it's even 3-star. Airport Views, a 3-star hotel. Golden Tulip is 4. Also another very, very nice hotel. Any other hotels you can think of that you think are very posh? Sorry? No. There's a new hotel. I don't know whether you've heard of it. It's called Villa Monticello. You've heard of it? Villa Monticello, no, it's not on the mountains. It's in Accra here. Yeah, Villa Monticello. That's the other one. That's a 5-star hotel. Okay, let's move on. So the types of lodging. We have commercial hotels, which we just mentioned a few of, the Holiday Inns and the Fiesta Royal. Very commercial. A lot of people sleep there. So they have to maintain very high standards. Yeah? So those are the commercial hotels. Of late, in the last few years, I think since maybe 2015 or 2014, we have a lot more residential hotels springing up, like people coming to live in other people's houses. It is called Airbnb. I'm sure you've heard about it. It has come about as a result of the internet, where people are booking rooms via the internet. So maybe if I have 2 rooms in my house and I want to give to somebody coming in from London or US or wherever, I can arrange, they can book on the net, and I can give them those rooms for the duration of time that they want to spend. Airbnb. So write that one down as well and do some research about it. It is catching on very, very, very fast. Because it's cheaper, 1. And 2, it allows the guests to interact with the host or families. So they get to know about how the host family lives, if they are Ghanaian, what the culture is, and all that kind of thing. And then thirdly, they also make a lot of friends in the process. So Airbnb is a new thing. And now, because everything is digital, everybody is using mobile phones, it is easier for our visitors to make those kind of arrangements. Yeah. Then resort hotels are the ones near the beaches, like Cape Coast Castle, resorts and all that. You can have a lot of beaches around. If you go to Cape Coast Elimina Beach Resort, there's a huge hotel there, which you can enjoy overlooking the ocean. Somebody mentioned Airport View. It's an airport hotel. Then the economy hotels are the budget ones for students who like to travel with their backpacks. Yeah, they don't want to spend too much money. They just want somewhere to put their head over the night. Then the casino hotels are for gamblers, international business people who want to while the time away, spend a lot of money in casino hotels. So you can see that even before we move on, if you decide to take up a career in the hospitality and tourism industry, there's a big variety or a great variety of areas where you can choose to work. Even in the hotel industry, look at the different classifications. Then the restaurants will come. Then the parks, the leisure parks. What about the museums and the castles? You know, so much that I think you even have a headache trying to choose which area in the hospitality industry you want to. But of course, you can also be a lecturer if you want to. Then you come to academia. Right, so there we go. We've already spoken about the 4, 5, 3-star hotels, so we didn't waste too much time on the different categorizations, except to say that the body that is responsible for giving the star rating is called, in Ghana here, it's called the Ghana Tourism Authority. The Ghana Tourism Authority. They give licenses to individuals or corporations to operate hotels. So if you want to be licensed as a hotelier, you need to go to the offices of the Ghana Tourism Authority to get registered. They'll come and inspect your premises, and if it is suitable to be used as a hotel, they'll give you a license. If not, they'll give you the guidelines and they'll give you a time frame. If you can meet those guidelines, they will surely give you a license. They'll categorize you. If you're 1-star, they'll tell you. If you're a 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, they'll tell you. Every year, you need to go and renew your license. So that gives a bit of revenue to the government. Yeah. And then there's the Ghana Hotels Association, which is the umbrella body for hotels, whereby you need to join to know what you can do and cannot do in the industry. The good thing about joining the Hotels Association is that when it comes to fighting government policy collectively, you know, they can fight on your behalf. For example, if taxes on your utility bills, tariffs get raised, they can fight for you, for the government to give you concessions and that kind of thing. So it's always a good idea to be a member. Also, if there's going to be international conferences in Ghana, the organizers of the conference can contact the association so that the guests who are coming, if there are thousands, they can be distributed to all the hotel association members. So there are quite a lot of benefits to be enjoyed by joining the Ghana Hotels Association. There are a number of smaller associations which we will look at also later on. And then within the hotel itself, that's the hotel building, we have what we call the front office, which is where the reception area is in the lobby, where you see the concierge and then the front office manager. They receive the staff during check-in. Yeah, that's the front office. And then there's something else we call the back office. That one you don't see when you enter the hotel, but they are there. That's the accountants who prepare the bills, and then the personnel, HR, human resource management, and the purchases people, they are all in the building, but you don't see them. When you enter, all you see is the front office. So they give you what you need, check you into the room. We'll come back to talk about the front office. The food and beverage area is another big area where hospitality is very well involved. You know, visitors have to eat when they are here. And we ourselves too have to eat when we go to parties, etc., weddings, funerals. We probably even eat more at funerals than weddings. So it's a big business. So people are commercial caterers who do that kind of thing. They do all the food. They arrange the venue and all that kind of thing. So again, another area in the hospitality industry where a lot of money can be made. Yeah, so the food service operation is very, very, very important. It's also tied in with the health issues, because in order for you to be able to cook for masses of people, you need to do some medical tests and get certification to say you are fit and indeed strong enough to do that kind of work. So the certification is very, very important. Then you're handling food. So if there's any germs or bacteria, it can easily be passed on. So we take that kind of area very, very seriously in the hospitality industry. Right, so, well, apart from doing the contract catering, parties and other things, we have restaurants themselves. People set up a lot of different kinds of restaurants. Chinese, I'm sure you've been to, Indian, Korean. When you go to the Oxford Street, you see all different kinds of restaurants. And even Ghanaian. A lot of Ghanaian restaurants are springing up nowadays. A lot of tilapia joints also springing up. So those are more like specialty restaurants where you can get certain kinds of foods at certain kinds of times. And then we have the brasserie, which is more like a wine bar where people just like to enjoy, and the pubs, obviously, where people just like to enjoy a bottle of beer with some kebabs and other things. All these areas are covered in the food and beverage area in hospitality. Then, of course, cafeterias, where people go for a cup of coffee from time to time, and then the snack bars. Fast food joints, nowadays we can see Burger King, KFC is here, and then any others? I don't go to them, so I can't remember their names. Any other new fast food joints springing up? Is McDonald's here? Yes, McDonald's is a very big one worldwide. I'm surprised they're not in Ghana. But anyway, I know KFC now, they have about six or seven branches in Accra alone. I've seen a branch in Kumasi as well. So, Ntakradi? Papaya is a good one, yes. They are also in Accra, about 4 or 5 branches dotted all over the place. So those are fast food joints. They're very, very convenient. So for people like us who don't usually have time to go to the kitchen, when your wife is working and you're also working, somebody has to bring the food. So it's a very good thing to have these convenient food from time to time. Okay, and that is a major part of the industry that we are in. So it's more like there's a lot of institutional catering. What about the catering at Gimpa? We have a big hotel here, the down there, GECC, where we do a lot of conferences. And so we need to provide food during lunchtime. We do buffets and other things. So that's quite a lot of institutional catering. It's not easy catering for 1,000 people at lunchtime, I can tell you that. Because your food has to be ready on time. And if your food delays even by 10 minutes, you've spoiled the whole program. Because the people want to come out, eat, and go back and finish whatever they're doing. And so in this business, time is of essence. And if you're in the catering industry, you need to arrive at work on time to make sure that you deliver a service, because people are waiting for a kind of service. Yeah? Okay. So service is very important. Having spoken about catering, let's now look at some of the other things that go on. The travel and tourism perspective. In the tourism, there's a lot of travel, a lot of transportation is needed because we are moving from place to place, or the guest or the tourist has to travel and see. And while he's traveling, is he going to stop somewhere? You've all traveled. Traveling from Accra to Kumasi, a famous place called Lindador. When you stop there, you see about 10, 15 buses all stopping at once. All the people who get out of the buses want to have something to eat at the same time. They want to use the bathroom. They want to do a lot of things. All in a space of... The driver, will, after 20 minutes, he'll be going, beep, let's go. Meanwhile, people haven't even been able to buy their wache or whatever they need to buy. So you need a transportation is a key thing. In Europe, where there are a lot of trains, people use a lot of trains. And on the trains, there are a lot of cafeterias, sandwiches, bars, restaurants, all on the train. Because if you're traveling from, say, London to Birmingham, it will take you 2 hours and sometimes 3 hours. You can relax, sit down, go on the internet, browse, have a sandwich. So again, you see that as you while away the time, you can enjoy a lot of catering and food. And then in this part of the world, because we are not as well to do as they are in Europe, we say that tourism is special to people who live in poverty. So if there's a tourism resort or there is an area where people can come and spend their holidays, if the people who live in the area are poor, that tourism resort that is placed there allows the local people to generate money. When you come to my village in the Lake Bosomtwi area, they have these small fish called a patre, which is a delicacy. And as soon as you get off the bus, the women start rushing to you. They give you one to taste, and if you like it, you have to buy the rest. And the local folks really, some of them weave kente cloths, they have drums, they have all kinds of artifacts, like carvings and things that they use to make a lot of money locally. Some also have the locally brewed palm wines and then apetition and others, and people want to sometimes, if they're having a good time, they want to taste the local drinks. So it's all part and parcel of the tourism industry. Then, something else is happening, which is very, very interesting because of technology. Something we call online travel agents, OTAs, online travel agents. I'm sure you'd have heard of booking.com, TripAdvisor, and the likes, where if you want to travel anywhere, you can quickly Google booking.com and tell them the kind of hotel, how much you want to spend, number of nights you want to spend, and immediately they come up with a package for you. Makes it very convenient. If you want a flight, they can even arrange a flight for you that ties in with your budget. So it is working quite well with the online travel agents like TripAdvisor and Booking.com. So again, technology is driving tourism and hospitality. So tour operators now are all doing everything online. So we won't waste too much time on that. Now, then let's look at what we call packages, travel packages. A package is like if a group of us decide to go to, say, Ivory Coast for 2 weeks, we have a package tour. So the hotel room and the restaurant and then the bus that will take us around to the tourism sites, everything is booked in one. That's what we call a package tour. So if I pay, say, $300 or $400, it covers all those services, right from the hotel to the food that we are going to eat when we are there for the 2 weeks, the transport, the sightseeing, the cinema, all of it is included. That's what we call the package tour. Something that is catching on in Ghana very well. A lot of people are arranging for foreigners to come here for package tours. When they come, they pay a one-time price and they enjoy themselves until they fly back. Package tour. Now, something very close to my heart. Tourism attractions. Why do tourists come here? Although we are very, very nice, kind, friendly, I'm sure the tourists come here for a lot more than kindness and friendliness. Ghana has a lot to offer when it comes to tourism attractions. A lot to offer. In Accra, where most people come to, we can name quite a few attractions around the Independence Squares, a lot of monuments around the old Christianborg Castle, which used to be the seat of government. And now Asumdwe Park is also attached to that one. And I believe it's under renovation to fix it into a museum, which would be nice. And then we have the actual National Museum also in Accra. We have a lot of beaches, lots of hotels dotted along the beaches, you know. What about the Makola Market? A huge attraction in itself. You know, people come here to experience all those kinds of things. Then you move along towards the coast, towards Cape Coast, and then there's a few castles also dotted around. And then there's the Kakum National Park, which you've all heard about, the canopy walks, where it's quite frightening for those of you. How many people by hand have been to Kakum National Park? By hand? Oh, I'm not encouraged. Please. You have to go there. It's probably about, there are less than 10 of those kind of edifices in the whole world. So if you have one in Ghana, you must know that it's a major tourism attraction. Kakum National Park in Cape Coast. Then the Cape Coast Castle, the Mina Castle, all these things are there. Then you can move further towards Axim and Cobra Beach and all that. In this country, if I say I'm going to talk about attractions, I could even spend 1 hour talking about attractions alone. Yeah? Ashanti region, we have the Menshia, Otumfo, and then we move on to Kintampo, you know, we have the waterfalls, moving on to Mole Park and Paga Crocodile Pond. Every region you go to, there is a major tourism attraction. So this country, when somebody says we are poor, well, it's difficult to believe, but they always say that. So this country is blessed with a lot of attractions, tourism attractions. There are a lot of tourism attractions. Right, so having spoken about the attractions, let us look into the characteristics of the hospitality industry. If you want to put up a career, if you want a career in the industry, you have to understand the industry that you're going into. Yeah, because you could end up working in the industry for years. So if you don't understand the industry, you won't be happy. So it's better you understand the industry now and be prepared for it. Yeah? It's a very interesting industry. But the thing is that there is an element of inflexibility about the industry. We spoke about all these hotels and tourism attractions. You cannot move the Elmina Castle from Cape Coast to Accra. That's why it is inflexible. It is fixed there. And if you want to see it, you have to travel there. So that's the inflexibility about the industry. Perishability, another major characteristic of our industry. Our hotels, the rooms, if they do not get filled today, we cannot sell them tomorrow, once today passes. You understand? It's lost, the revenue is lost forever. So we have to fill those hotels and make money. Otherwise, tomorrow we can't come and add yesterday's sales. Yesterday, when it's gone forever. So the rooms are highly perishable. That's why we need to act and fill them. So these are characteristics of our industry. There are one or two more. The inconsistency of another characteristic of our industry. What you might like, I might not like. What you might want to pay for a certain service, I might not want to pay. So there's a lot of different people doing different things. So it's inconsistent. Yeah? It's just like our characters. We are not all the same. What you like, even two people who are friends, when they go to a restaurant, they all take different dishes. They can never take the same thing all the time. Look at the dresses you're wearing. I cannot see two dresses the same color. You know. So there's a lot of inconsistency in our tourism. And then finally, intangibility. Intangibility. Another major characteristic of the tourism industry. Tangible and intangible. Intangible means you cannot see it and you cannot touch it. So a service, when it's provided you and you are happy with it, you are satisfied. You know when you are satisfied, but you cannot see it or touch it. That's why it's intangible. Yeah. So if you say the service was good, we take your word for it, but you cannot see it. So it's intangible. So these are the major characteristics: the intangibility, the inconsistency, the perishability, and then the inflexibility. Remember those, very important. We've spoken a little bit about international tourism. Yeah, so we wouldn't waste too much time. But tourism itself, or hospitality came about because of travel. As people moved from village to village or town to town, years and years ago, in search for food, water, for jobs, they had to migrate, move. And so hotels sprang up. You have to sleep somewhere when you're traveling. And that has been the concept behind tourism. Touring, moving around, yeah? So it's still the same today. People travel, and travel goes with hospitality because they need somewhere to rest and relax. The internet, well, we touched on that earlier on, but we have to emphasize that the whole world has been overwhelmed in the last few years by the internet. If you are not hooked onto the internet, or you are not technology driven, you are being left out of what's going on in society today. The reason why I want to touch on hospitality is that Ghana has over 4,000, maybe getting to about 5,000 hotels. Hotels alone, over 5,000 as we speak. And from the intelligence or from the surveys that we have, only about 20% of those hotels have internet. So people are building hotels and just hoping that people will come and sleep there. And the hotels are empty day in, day out. Nobody comes because nobody knows where those hotels are. But if you're on the internet, as soon as you Google or you go onto any other search engine, the name of the hotel comes up. So there's communication between the client or the guest and the hotel. People make direct bookings to hotels all the time. Some also do it through online travel agents. So now, as we speak, if you have spent so much money putting up a hotel and you don't spend more money having internet in the hotel, you are going to lose business. You are wasting your time. So the internet has a major impact on the sales. The internet also enables us to link to the airlines and to all the other services that we need. In fact, technology is even becoming wonderful because nowadays, you know that when you book a hotel, they can send you your key card. You know, the key card is a small key that you need to enter the room. When you get to the door, you just swipe like that, and the green light comes on, and then you open. That's the key card, electronic key card. They can send that to you on your mobile phone nowadays. So when you're in a hurry and you get to the hotel, you just get the concierge to take you to your room without even going through the reception. So that's how far we are going with technology. And at the same time, on the key card, you can order your room service, yeah, which is fantastic. Right, so Ghana, going back to Ghana, we have heritage tourism, cultural tourism, and so many other kinds of tourism. But if we don't promote our tourism, nobody will get to know. And one way of promoting heritage, cultural, medical tourism, ecotourism, agro-tourism is through the internet. So we need to do a lot on the internet to let people see that we have these things. And then domestic tourism also needs to be encouraged. That one, we have to travel ourselves to experience what we have so that we can tell our friends by word of mouth about what we have experienced so that they can also try it for themselves. So domestic tourism is important. Okay, shopping. Well, obviously when the tourists come, they will definitely do some shopping. We have a lot that they can buy. When the African Americans or the Black Americans, when they come here and they are leaving, they do a lot of shopping. They do a lot of shopping. They buy a lot of kente cloth, carvings, and whatnot. Because when they get back to the United States, they want to show these to their friends and tell their friends that they've been to the motherland. Yeah, so their friends also want to come here. So the artifact is a big business. Then, of course, we have the Panafest where people can participate in the tourism business and feel part of Africa. So all these things are things that we have in Ghana here, in areas where your career can be developed into. Medical tourism. People travel for medical assistance because it's very, very expensive to get medical treatment in Europe. So people sometimes travel here. And even our own people, our natives, come here for herbal treatments and herbal medicines. All these things are now big business. So meditourism is very, very, very big. Again, another area you could be interested in. Ecotourism as well. Agro-tourism, sports tourism. You know, we have a lot of football and other sporting activities that we need to. So you've seen that from what I've said so far, there are a lot of areas within the hospitality and tourism industry that you could branch into. We've spoken about transportation. It's a big area. People run transport, hotels, restaurants, institutional catering, cinemas, casinos, so many areas. So employment opportunities have grown. And now, very, very lately, we've spoken about internet, the technology. Designing websites for hotels alone is big business. Just websites, designing website for a hotel. You can charge the hotel anything up to 10,000 Ghana cedis just for one website. So you can imagine if you have a few clients that you have to design websites for, you can make a lot of money. What about the contractors who build the hotels and the other infrastructure that goes with it? The swimming pools and other gyms and other things that the hotel needs. So it provides employment for a lot of people. That is what we call the multiplier effect. The tourism industry allows a lot more people to get jobs, the multiplier effect. Yeah. So there are multiple of jobs that spring out. So you are very lucky to be in this industry. Right, so let's narrow down now as we come to nearly to the end of the presentation. Let me narrow down on the careers. That's why we are here. Very important. Now, which area in the industry are you interested in? Or are you potentially gunning to be interested in? I'll give you about 10 areas. Yeah. Let's start with the banquet and conferences. Yeah, banqueting. When you have a hotel, somebody say banqueting is an event, maybe a wedding, yeah, or a 60th birthday party. Yeah, it's done in a hotel. We do all the tables, the catering, whatever, banqueting. And then conferences. You've all seen conferences, people traveling from all over the place to have a conference. So it's quite demanding, but you need a lot of energy career, working in hotels, resorts, conference centers. You know, you need to set up the service events. Make sure that the food is of high quality and is served on time. I said that earlier on. So you could be organizing food for anything between 500 to 2,000 people. You know, so the banquet and conferencing area is something that you could get a job in quite easily. You know, and obviously some of the hotels who will give you jobs would even train you. Although you might have a degree from GIMPA, when you get to the hotel, you go through a 3-month training program so that you can be familiar with the menu and the drinks and all that kind of thing, how to deal with potential customers. So one area in your career that you could pick is the banquets and conferences. Then the food and beverage, which is next to the banqueting, also you need to be interested in. The buffet, for example, for the hotel, those the guests who are sleeping there in the morning, they have to take breakfast. So what is your buffet going to comprise of? Are you going to serve local dishes at the buffet, fruits, vegetables, whatever? Whatever you do, you have to have in the back of your mind that the company that you're working for needs to make a profit. So if you spend, and the goods that you are putting on display are not used, then you're wasting the hotel's money. So sometimes you need to do a guest survey, administer questionnaires to the guest to find out what the guest really wants so that you provide or tailor the service to suit the guest. So the food and beverage is the second area where you could pick your hospitality career. Then the front office in the hotel, receiving the guests. A lot of front office managers, you know, both men and women can be front office managers. You know, how do you receive the guest? How do you welcome the guest? How do you do the guest confirmation, the check-in? All this happens at the front office. The big hotels have more than 10 front office managers or duty managers. They run shifts sometimes. So you can imagine the amount of managers you need at a time in a 5-star hotel. Again, your appearance is of utmost importance. The way you present yourself, because you are the first point of call for people coming to the hotel. So if you're not neat and you don't communicate well with the guest, they might not come to your hotel again. So the front office staff need to be on their toes and they need to be alert all the time when it comes to receiving guests. So that's the front office. You can also have a career as a front office manager. Then resort management, yeah? Various resorts are dotted around Ghana. So we just mentioned a few of the attractions. So if it's a resort that you want to manage, you can go a little bit out of Accra, and there can be waterfalls like Blee Waterfalls in the Volta region or Mount Afajeto. Those are huge resorts. Move there, stay there, manage the resort. Plan things properly. Then when people arrive there, you know how to treat them. Good housekeeping, etc. Restaurant manager would skip that because it's quite similar to the food and beverage. What about the spa and wellness? Spa and wellness. You've heard a lot about some hotels the one famous one in Sugakope, I think it's the Holy Trinity Hotel, very, very beautiful place. Whilst you are there, spending time there, they give you all the medical treatment that you need, and they tell you your health status, which is very, very important. Yeah, one Dr. Anya, very beautiful place. So spa and wellness is another area. Maybe you are a doctor and you want to branch into tourism. You could set up a wellness center with a spa and all those kind of things that go with it. Yeah, so it's another area. If you market it well, you could make quite a lot of money. So that's the sixth area. The seventh area we spoke about, event management. Event management. Organizing weddings, parties, trade fairs, the big one, trade exhibitions. So MICE means meetings, incentives, conferences, and events. MICE, another growing area. Jot these points down. When you go home, you can Google them and then read about them. Concerts, festivals, and exhibitions. Event planning and project management, dealing with large-scale events. This role involves studying the brand, identifying the target audience, very important, devising event concept, and coordinating technical aspects before launching the event. So, some of these events, you need to plan them quite well. There has to be a theme. We've been to so many weddings that everybody is wearing purple. Some people are wearing yellow. There's a theme that runs through the event. So if you're an event planner, you know how to go about it. The music that's even played at the event, some people listen to jazz music, maybe some hip-hop or some shatawale, whatever it is, it needs to be planned. Yeah, because the type of people who are coming to the event, their age group, if you go and play certain music, they might walk away. So all this goes into the planning. So you can be an event planner, another area that you could be interested in. Then wedding coordination. We often hear of people who are cake decorators, something you know a lot about. Yeah, so wedding coordination, organizing the bride and the bridegroom, the church events, all these things that come under the hospitality industry. So if you are a good consultant, you can make a lot of money by putting these kind of weddings together. Even includes booking the church and talking to the high bishop. It's all part and parcel. You have to take him some money, otherwise you won't marry the couple. Okay, so we've spoken about conferences and conventions. Some of them are international, some of them are national, some of them are regional, and then others are also local. So depending on where you want to go, you can choose a career in all these areas. Then the airline industry, also closely linked to the tourism and hospitality. The airline, guess who are coming? They have to fly here. Yeah, they have to come by air. So we need to have, we spoke about travel or trip advisor, which links both the traveler and then the guest coming to the hotel. So all these things are while you're on the flight, there should be in-flight entertainment, good food. When I flew Ethiopian Airlines, they wanted us to taste the local Ethiopian dish, which is sometimes quite nice to taste the food of the country in which you are traveling to. So you get a first-hand taste of what you can expect when you get to the country that you are going into. So airlines also, and of course, the women. Sometimes you hear they want to be air hostess, yeah? Yeah, they want to be air hostess, which is also quite an interesting job. It makes you travel all around the world. Yeah, so you can be an air hostess, which is also another career opportunity. Amusement parks, not so many in Ghana, but I don't know whether Ifwa Saladan Park qualifies as an amusement park. All the swings are broken. But we are yet to see improvements on amusement parks. But in the States, when you say amusement park, it's more like a gambling center like Monte Carlo, where people go and waste a lot of money in gambling, and then they come back just to release their stress. So again, I think some of our pubs locally, when you go, you see these gaming machines there. They're all part of the amusement park business. Casinos, yes, another interesting one where people gamble there a lot throughout the night sometimes. So again, you can specialize in casino and work in a casino where you direct your people as to how to gamble and when to gamble and so on. Again, you can make a career out of that. Okay, so catering we've spoken about, we won't waste too much time. There's something, I think you've all heard of the Doddy Princess on the River Volta, the Volta Lake here. A cruises. Again, a major part of the tourism industry. All those big boats on the sea, you can go for a cruise, and maybe it might be your specialty to work on a boat. Those boats, I think, are owned by the VRA, yeah? And so cruises. They are a big thing abroad. Unfortunately, in Ghana, we don't have so much of them, but overseas, people can be on a cruise ship for a month, just, enjoying themselves and their leisure. So that's another form of a career. And then finally, consulting. Yeah, you can be a consultant. For a start, if somebody wants to build a hotel, they go to a consultant. Oh, which location do you think, if I put my hotel, I can make money? How many rooms should be in the establishment? Yeah. How many people should work for me? What star rating should I aim at? You need a consultant who is highly experienced to give you what we call a feasibility study on what you want to do. Some call it a blueprint on what you want to do. Without that, you'll be going around in circles. You know where to start or where to end. But if it's all nicely done for you by a consultant, then you follow it step by step, and then eventually, with the approval of the Ghana Tourism Authority, you have your beautiful edifice. So consulting is also available for your career. If you want to develop your career in consulting, you have to draw in a group of consultants who will train you after your degree to be a consultant. Then the biggest of all, why don't you start your own business? Why don't you start your own business instead of having this mentality of working for people all the time? Yeah? If you are bold and courageous and somebody can lend you the money, preferably a bank, then why not? Or your parents or your friends could even come together and say, oh, as for this person, they are so serious, they know their business. Why don't we help them to start their own business? And you can start your own business in all the areas that we've listed up to here, the catering, the restaurants, whatever business, flower arranging, whatever business that you think you're good at. But mainly, it's usually centered around the food and beverage area. So starting your own business can be very, very good. What about supplying the big hotels? Nowadays, people supply the hotels with food, with drinks, and other things, So the hotel doesn't have time to go to the market. So the market has to come to the hotel. So that's how you get your own business. What about the linen and the laundry department? They outsource or contract other firms to do the laundry for them. Cleaning services. Big hotels need people to clean the hotels for them. You can set up your own business. So there's a variety of chances for you in your career to start up your own business. So we are drawing to an end with our professional career development issues. I'll give you some time to ask some questions. But before we do that, we need to think ahead and think big and think aloud. The next few years ahead, you should start planning. Planning. What am I going to do with my life after GIMPA? What are the options? Yeah? You need to plan now. Otherwise, by the time you finish, you don't know what to do. You'll be confused. But if you start planning now, maybe an opportunity might come along the way. Maybe where you did your internship, you can go back there and play a different role. So, do you think you have what it takes? Do you believe in yourself? If you don't believe in yourself, no one will believe in you. So you need to build your confidence up. Employers are looking for competent individuals with both knowledge and experience in the trade. Studying for a degree in tourism and hospitality management at GIMPA offers advanced insights into the tourism and hospitality industry, and provides students with the opportunity to develop their knowledge and interest in the field while you're here. But now we are talking about when you leave here. It's a totally new ball game. And my advice to students is that you try as much as possible not to leave gaps in your career. Don't stay at home and say, oh, I wanted to stay at home for 1 year, for 2 years. Before you know, you get pregnant and have a baby. That will be the end of your career. So please, especially the women. So let there be continuity in your career development. Even if it means you're going to do voluntary work and not get paid for it, it's better than staying at home. So please, do something. Everything you do, even if it's working for an NGO, it is something that you would experience. Even if it's just for 1 year, you need to do something. So do not leave gaps in your career. So this is SOLAS, at GIMPA, School of Liberal Arts and Social Sciences. That's what SOLAS stands for. And we pride ourselves on diversity of our curriculum and the experienced faculty. Faculty means the lecturers who deliver a very satisfying learning experience. Most importantly, GIMPA enables its students to undertake internships in a variety of world-class hotels in Ghana. And soon to be offered is our master's degree in hospitality management, which starts next year. I believe we've got the accreditation to do that. A big thank you to you.
So I wanted to find out that with the hospitality field, in as much as you have to work in, because based on most of the things that was mentioned, it looks like we have to be working in the hotel most of the time. But I was thinking out of the box that with tourism and hospitality, can you also get to do, like, for example, health and safety attached to it, and then maybe get to work in the petroleum or oil and gas industry as well, with tourism and hospitality backgrounds?
So you mentioned a lot of careers that we can go into if you should get a degree in hospitality and tourism management. So here's my question. How can the misconception of hospitality being attached to just the hotel industry be solved? Because every time you say you're studying hospitality, people are like, oh, you want to work in the hotel. Thank you.
I just want to know the stars, the 5 stars, the 1 star. I just want to know the criteria for selecting hotels, categorizing them into this, that, and that. Thank you.
So I think it's very necessary to also maybe to have included in your presentation the importance of language in tourism and hospitality, because I think it plays a very key role in this industry. Thank you very much.
With hospitality, is it necessary to take good care of every person and treat them the same way as you treat a dignitary, if you are dealing with a hotel or...
Very, very good. I mean, the fact that you're doing hospitality doesn't mean you should be working strictly in the hotel business or the leisure business. There are so many companies that have the need for people with hospitality experience, like the big oil and gas companies, like you said. Some of them are even offshore. Yeah, so they have offices. They need people who would do their catering for them there, do their entertainment schedule for them there. So yes, you don't have to stay. People travel miles and miles away. We mentioned the cruises. People work on the cruise ship all year round. The cooks on the cruise ship, that's all part of the industry. So, it doesn't end. Whatever that you think you want to do, you should start going on the internet, Googling it, and trying to understand how to go about getting a job there. Some people, you just write to them, a simple letter. If you get the contact person on their website, they will surely reply, So if any area within the industry you think you like, don't wait for the job to come to you. You have to start doing the search, because now you have the tools. Even on your phone, you can use the internet. So take your time, and then think it through, and then see what you enjoy. You need to have a passion for what you want to do. Otherwise, you still stop the job. And then you need to bear in mind that the jobs in the hospitality industry are long hours. And the hospitality industry doesn't pay very well. The wages are very low. So you need to enjoy the job that you're doing. Otherwise, you wouldn't last in that job. Apart from the fact that you get low wages, there are some advantages like getting tips if you are at the bar, or getting accommodation if you are working, certain hours, getting transportation from your home. If you have to leave your home very early, they might arrange a bus to pick you up to take you to work. So there are some advantages. And of course, you get free food every day, which I'm sure a lot of you like. Mauto was trying to find out why there's so much emphasis on hotels. Am I right? Yeah? Right, okay, well. The whole industry, the hospitality industry, came about, like I said earlier on, as a result of travel. And because people were traveling so many years ago for pilgrims and other things, it became necessary for them to sleep somewhere. So that's how the hotel business came to be a domineering part of the hospitality. But as the years have gone on, we've spoken about different kinds of attractions and leisure and so many things that we've been through. So, yeah, you need to develop the interest in the area that you want. And in some areas, they're not even available in Ghana, but you can create them. And you see that when you are bold to create something like that and you market it well, you could have what we call a niche market, catering for a certain group of people, and then you can make your money. You can make your money that way. Uber, a taxi service, it's a niche market, something that has been created in Ghana not too long ago. But look at how fast it has caught on. Comes right to your doorstep without even telling them your address. Yango is the new one that is probably also springing up. Why didn't we think about these things years ago? So simple, but very effective. Then, Rita wanted to know about the star rating of the hotel. Yes. Let me see by hand how many of you have been to a 5-star hotel, like the Marriott and the Movenpick. How many of you have been to one? Just raise up your hand. Okay, so that immediately answers your question. If you don't go there and see what is there, how would you know what services are available? The fact that you are going to a hotel doesn't mean that you are going to sleep there. You can go and even tell them you want to see the room, but you have your grandfather coming from the United States. So you want a room that's so special. They should take you there for you to see. Then you even take pictures of the place that you are sending it to your grandfather. They can't say no, because they want business. Be thinking all the time of something. Then by doing that, you get the experience. 5-star hotels have a lot of facilities. Swimming pools, they have casinos we mentioned. But now for 5-star hotel, what is becoming very, very essential is free Wi-Fi. Free Wi-Fi. The guests in 5-star hotels want to be able to be on the internet anywhere they are in the hotel, whether they are at the poolside or the restaurant. They don't want to lose sight of their laptop or their phone. And immediately they arrive in anywhere around the hotel premises, they are hooked onto the net straight away. So free Wi-Fi has become a necessity. And you and I know, even bringing Wi-Fi into our house, how much we have to pay every month. I pay 85 Ghana cedis to Vodafone every month for Wi-Fi. So if you are paying 85 cedis a month, and then look at a hotel with 500 rooms, 24 hours a day, you're providing free Wi-Fi, it's quite expensive. So if you're paying $200, $300 for a hotel room, I think it's only fair that they give you free Wi-Fi. So Wi-Fi is important. Then, of course, the decor of the room itself, the furnishing. How are you going to decorate it? What kind of materials are you going to use? The air conditioner in the room, how noisy is it? Even this one here, which we are using, I can even hear it working. And those things are so obsolete, you shouldn't be able to hear it working. It should be so quiet. And then it should save you a lot of energy too. Because electricity now is very, very expensive. So now you should save a lot of power with the gadgets that you have. Then the ambience around the hotel, the environment. How green is it? Is it pleasant for people to lie in the garden, sit in the poolside, whatever? All these things are important. So To judge a 5-star, the Ghana Tourism Authority is the one who issues the license. So they'll come and they'll give you the guidelines. Golden Tulip is a 4-star. It's a 4-star hotel. Moving Peak is a 5-star. There is a difference. When you go to both, you'll see that the furnishing, the way the whole place, even the reception, how it's been done, is of very, very high quality. Very luxurious is the word for the 5-star. And then the 3 stars, you see that the location starts going a little bit further from the airport. Yeah, so they start charging a bit cheaper. But those 4, 5 stars are pretty, within 15 minutes, you're at the airport. So location is usually very one. But as for the budget hotels, mosquitoes will chew you out so you wake up in the morning. No air conditioning, the fan where it makes a lot of horrible noises, music in your ears and all that. You know, in the bathroom, the water doesn't come, you know, but, you know, they'll fetch you water in the morning. Bucket, yeah. Then you know that you are in a budget hotel. And even the water that they are fetching, you'll be screaming and screaming and screaming, it won't be coming. Then as for breakfast, when you ask to come in the afternoon, so we won't go there. So that's how you know what star rating hotel you are in. Service is of utmost importance. Then lastly, there was one from something about treating people alike. Who has that question? Yes. Ishmael, or is it? Elisha. Right, okay. Difficult one. Difficult one. But you should never judge a book by its cover. If you have 2 people all paying $200 for their rooms, why do you want to treat one better than the other? They are all your guests. They are all your clients. Give them maximum service so that they can get maximum satisfaction. Don't be choosy. Don't say he's a Rasta man, so I won't go there. You know, or he's too short, or he's too tall, or he's too fat, or he's too thin. No, that's not your business. Do what you are supposed to do with a smile. Communicate effectively. If there are guest complaints, listen carefully and fix the problem, rather than trying to say, oh, the man, he likes drinking too much and this and that. You know, it's none of your business. Hotel guests can be very difficult because they think they are paying for the room, so they deserve heaven and earth. You need to be calm, patient in how you deal with them, and in the end, you should be able to get very good results. But if the situation is beyond you, you either report to the police if necessary, or your security if you have some within the hotel.